Hello, my name is Matthew, and we're back for the third installment of answering questions for my Madrid Q&A. And this question is from Arsenal NI, and here's the question. Maybe this is too personal a question for you. I feel in my life when someone special enters it, you have to do everything you can to keep that person in your life. With you, that person is halfway around the world. Is there any plans for you in the future to move to Spain or have your partner move to your tiny house? I know long distance relationships can work, not saying that there's anything wrong with what you have, but maybe that you and your girlfriend have been, but now that you and your girlfriend have been together, it's harder to stay apart. As I say, maybe it's a question that shouldn't be asked, so feel free to ignore. And these are thoughts that, these questions really align with a lot of thoughts that I've been having, things that Andre and I have talked about, and I don't mind being open to a certain point. And yeah, so um, it was an eye-opening experience in many, many ways. Visiting Madrid, of course, it's this beautiful place, and it could be deceiving that I had the most amazing time, and so I should go back to Spain and then continue on having this amazing time. It's not quite true, and I just want to make the distinction that I do realize that we went on a big, splashy holiday where for 8 days we did whatever we wanted. We saw we spent all of our time just seeing the most beautiful things, eating the most amazing foods, and that's not a true representation of what it's like to live somewhere. We were on a big holiday. Now, with all that being said, the major motivating factor is just now spending time with Andrea. It's not going to be in Madrid. We're not entirely sure where it will be, if it's another region of Spain or if it's her moving to the States. To be honest, I'm more inclined to figuring out how to move to Spain. Now, there's a lot of huge decisions that would go into something like this. With either one of us moving either way, we both have occupations, we both have our whole lives in our respective locations. Um, my family is here, her family is there. Um, she has her apartment, I have my tiny house, I have my cats to consider. And I know that I'm 39, so almost 40 years old, and we've spent 2 years working up to this point. Well, I don't think that I want to spend another 2 years to have um, the next big step. So when Andre and I talk about it, when I think about my own steps that I would have to go through, it's overwhelming because it means um, what am I doing with the house? What's going on with the cats? Um, I have a fairly I have a job that I'm happy with, a fairly good, low paying job, but it's stable. I feel like I know what I'm doing there. If I move to Spain, I still don't know Spanish. So what am I doing to make money in Spain? Possibly being a teacher, teaching English while I'm over there. I'd still need to learn Spanish. I'd also have to find out what certifications I would need to be able to teach English. Or would it be working in a touristy kind of place? Um, what are the exact living arrangements going to be? Where are we living? Um, all of those kinds of things. And um, uh, it could also be spending time here in Spain and then spending time, or here in Spain, spending time in Spain and then spending time here in the States and doing something like that. It could be her moving here. Um, and um, we're both thinking about these things. I feel like we're both still kind of reeling from the trip that we were on, and um, realizing that it wasn't it wasn't this amazing trip because we saw the palace and the museums and things like that, but that we got to walk around the grocery store together, decide, what kind of oranges do we want to get, and apples, and um, do we want to have tea in the hotel room, and um, mineral water or sparkling water, little domestic situations and conversations um, that are the kind of true spirit of um, a relationship, a part of it. Um, those are the things that make me think, um, laughing and having conversations and talking through the night and all that kind of stuff makes me think um, um, action uh, needs to start happening in a way that I don't know, um, and um, there haven't been any decisions or detailed conversations, um, but I do kind of think that I want some kind of timeline where I can start thinking, um, you know, what is it that I want to have happen, and then what are the pragmatic, um, responsible things that I can start doing. Um, and it goes both ways. So if I'm selling the tiny house, let's say, what do I do with all the, never mind the cats, but what do I do with all these books? Um, if it's her moving to the States, well, then I should make sure that if we're in the tiny house, um, we both have our living areas. So I should have a shelf where she can put her books. I need to make sure that there's areas for her clothes. Right now, the whole house is packed with all my stuff. If you're living with someone, it's not just about having all your stuff. Um, Making sure that there's space in the closet for my jackets and her jackets. That kind of stuff. Um, so I mean that's my answer. I've been having a lot of these thoughts, so maybe my thought process and what I've been saying is confused. Um, the main thing is um, being deliberate, but being responsible. Um, so it's not a question of, well, I need to quit my job, I need to sell the house, I need to sell the car, I need to get rid of the cats. Um, that's not a responsible way of going about a big decision like this. The immediate steps would be another trip to Spain, um, Andrea visiting the States, having more um, domestic trips together where it really is about, maybe I'm going to work and coming home some of the days, um, going to the grocery store, being in the house, doing chores, doing laundry, um, and taking each step, but not having 2-year intervals is very important to me for each of these um, um, important steps. Okay. And the last question is from Matthew Mansell. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Did you try the aperitivo vermouth? I don't know how much of a drinker you are personally, but I know it is a part of Spanish culture, Spanish social drinking culture, and also delicious. I did not have any vermouth on the trip. One of the things that I loved, because we went to cafes and I'd order a beer or a cerveza, and I loved that um, the cafes would have these signs outside of it, and it would signify um, the house beer. And so you would see these signs that said Mao, or there was that Galician, Galicia Estella, I think, beer, and they would have a sign outside. It would say Mao. And then when you would walk in, you could just say cerveza por favor, cerveza por favor. So essentially, you just walk in and say, "I'll have a beer," and then you just get the house beer. I loved that. That's so different than in the States, where you get a menu and your choice. And over there, they have, of course, they have selections. And you could ask for a menu and then choose the beer that you want. But uh, it's kind of cool. Cerveza por favor. And there were 2 times that we did have digestives. I couldn't, for the life of me, recall, or if I could, I couldn't pronounce what they were. Um, and the 2 times was 2 different restaurants where we had like a larger, more proper meal. We went to a Basque restaurant, had amazing food. We had appetizers and a full course, and um, kind of like a more of a nice date kind of feel. Um, but at the end of the meal, you're just served these little shots. That also happened at the Galician restaurant, where we walk in and we order the patatas bravas and then the octopus, and for dessert we have a crepe, and then the meal ends with these little shots to help settle your stomach and have the alcohol help digest all the amazing food that you've had. But we didn't have any aperitifs, and I didn't have any vermouth, so I'll have to keep that in mind for next time. So that's the last question. Thank you so much for everyone asking questions and um, spending time with me, and yeah. So thank you everybody. I really appreciate all the views and comments and support and everything. It's just the best. So that's what I'll say for now. Leave a comment if you'd like. Thank you.